Saludos familia, estamos aquí nuevamente. Esta vez les habla siempre Jesús, su administrador del grupo Todo Sobre Lucha Libre, que nos puedes conseguir en Facebook, Twitter, Instagram y en nuestro canal de YouTube. A esta hora, la 1 de la tarde de Puerto Rico, vamos a tener el luchador Michael Youngblood. Saludos Steel, Salido Producciones, uno, Andon, Lion Rosa, me imagino que es One. Vamos a ver si buscan por aquí a Michael Youngblood. Vamos por aquí, Michael Youngblood. Voy a enviarle por aquí una invitación para ver si entra por aquí para comenzar el Instagram Live. Hello, Michael, how you doing?
Doing great, brother. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And you? Well, let's start.
Let's do it.
Why are you in the wrestling business?
Well, I was born into this business. I was born and raised in it. My father was a promoter. Well, he was a part-time promoter with NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, which was owned and operated by Jim Crockett Promotions. And he would help with the smaller shows and the smaller venues around the, like Great American Bash, Starrcade, and shows like that. And so I got to be around all this when I was a child, and I was growing up in this business, literally.
Okay, how many years have you been a wrestler?
27 years.
Oh my God, that's many years.
Yeah.
So, are you related to the Youngbloods, the Indians that once came to Puerto Rico, or not?
No, not related. I'm very good friends with my mom and dad were very, very good friends with Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat. The Youngblood name was given to me when I was a small child. It was just a nickname. Because when I was at the wrestling events, I was always around Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, Dusty Rhodes, those guys growing up. And I used to I would wear bloomas, the feathers,
Really?
Yeah, yeah. As a small kid, I had my own little toy set. And so people would call me Little Youngblood. And the name just stuck. And I've been called Youngblood. That's my nickname. I've been called Youngblood all my life. And I said, well, why not use the name? So.
But one day, I think you come to Puerto Rico, to the Carlos Colon, and you was like a Youngblood there.
Yes, I was. And I had to get Ricky Romero, which is the older brother. Mm-hmm. And I had to call Ricky on the phone and get his permission. And he said, yeah, man. He said, yeah, you can use the name. It's no big deal. He says, just, don't misrepresent us and don't do anything negative and that would hurt our name. He says, but by all means, please use the name. And so Carlos Colon said, you're going to be the next Youngblood. And I said, yes, sir.
Okay, I have learned that you know Jiu-Jitsu. Have you practiced the MMA?
Yes, I am a professional mixed martial artist. I've been a professional fighter since 2017. Prior to that, I did jiu-jitsu, practicing and gi, no gi tournaments. And I fought my first professional fight in 2017, heavyweight division, and won that division. I'm undefeated right now in that heavyweight division. And then my coaches over time said, we want you to fight in, MMA and junior heavyweight or light heavyweight. And so I had to drop weight. So I went from 245 pounds. I had to get down to 204 pounds. And so that's what I have fought at and continue to fight at. Yes.
Okay. Are you a heel or a face?
Well, I'm a tweener.
Okay.
In the southeastern, with the southeastern, I'm a face. I'm a baby face. The fans just love me. They respond to what I do because I communicate with the fans so well. Everything we do is about the fans. And so I've got to cater to their emotions and what makes them happy or what makes them sad. And they like the Michael Youngblood character. And I'm very well loved here, and I appreciate that so much. I have many, many fans. I miss wrestling in Puerto Rico because that is my home away from home. I lived in Puerto Rico for 7 years. I lived in Bayamon, Caguas, Carolina, Isla Verde, and that's my home away from home. And it was, and the people, they just accepted me, and they took me in, and I love Puerto Rico. I love the Puerto Rican people, and that is my home away from home.
Oh wow! Well, how many championship titles have you won so far?
In my career, I have won. I was the North American heavyweight champion for a year. I was the NWA Junior heavyweight champion for Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. That never went into the history books, but it did happen. I was wrestling for a promoter named Greg Price, and I beat a guy named Ricky Nelson. Ricky Nelson was trained by the famous Nelson Royal, and which is a legend here in the United States. He wrestled Blackjack Mulligan, Ric Flair, and Harley Race. And so I beat one of his students to become the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion. ACW World Tag Team Champions 3 times. I've been World Tag Team Champions with the Rock and Roll Express. Robert Gibson of the Rock and Roll Express. 2-time APCW World Tag Team Champions with him. That's the darker haired guy, Robert Gibson. That's on record. United States Heavyweight Champion for American Championship Wrestling. ACW World Tag Team Champions. There's been a lot of titles. There's been a lot of titles in 27 years.
Okay, when you was a little boy, I think you saw a lot of wrestlers. Which wrestler does intimidate you or you was scared of?
El Bronco.
Why?
I think because when I came in to Puerto Rico, I was this young, fresh baby face. I was 27 years old. Okay. And when I was at the airport, Carlito Colon and Eddie Colon picked me up at the airport. And so they took me back to our condo in Isla Verde. Well, when we would go to our shows and wrestle, if Joe Bravo wasn't picking me up, which is my very good friend, Joe Bravo, he's a very good friend, he's my brother. If Joe wasn't picking me up, El Bronco was picking me up. Yeah. But me and Bronco got along great. But I had to wrestle him 2 times. And, it was his way or the highway. And so he schooled me and taught me how to work his way. And it was good, though. It was good because I learned a lot about technical wrestling. I learned how to work a hold and make it mean something. Take my time and listen. And I listened to him. And when I started listening, instead of trying to push back, so to speak, I just said, okay, this guy's going to, really hurt me if I don't listen. And so I took his advice and did what he asked. And he really taught me how to wrestle. Puerto Rican style wrestling, and I respect him for that. I have a lot of respect for El Bronco, Chiqui Star, Joe Bravo, Hurricane Castillo. All those guys took me in under their wing. Rico Suave. All those guys I enjoyed working with. I think Salvia Vega, when I was there, he taught me more of the politics, the production aspect of what we do. So I got to sit in the studio with him and watch how they, create the product.
Mm-hmm.
And that was awesome. That was awesome.
Are you still friends with Carlos Colon, Victor Jovica, or Savio Vega? No? No? Neither Savio Vega?
Salvia Vega, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, can you say
Salvia Vega.
can you say what happened with Carlos and Jovica?
Yes, I will. I will. Everything was great the first year. He paid me what he's offered to pay me. I'll tell you what I was making. I was making $400 a week.
Wow.
But I got a rental car. I got a condo. I got $400 a week. And they paid me. Jovica was the one that paid me cash. And so around Christmas time of 2005, excuse me, money started getting low. And I said that, I understood. And, instead of getting $400, I was getting $300. And then it went from $300 to $200. Then it went from $200 to $100. And I said no. I told him no, and I said, I'm going to go back to North Carolina where I'm from if, you can't start paying me what I deserve. And so instead of doing that, I had got a job at the airport, and I worked for Capitol Police. I worked for the Capitol Police, and Cheeky Star actually got me a job working there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worked Monday through Thursday at the airport, International Airport. And then Thursday night through Sunday night, I would wrestle. And I was still getting, messed around with my money. And I finally just picked up the phone one day, and I called Salvio. And I talked to, at the time though, the money man for Salvi was Victor Quiones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I talked to Victor. And Victor said, come see me. I want you to come see me Monday morning. He said, don't tell nobody nothing. I said, okay, yes, sir. So I wrestled Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday for Carlos. I showed up Monday morning at the studios for IWA, and they said, do you have your bloomers? And I said, yes, put them on. They told me to put them on. We need you to do an interview. He handed me an envelope, $500.
Wow.
He said, you work for me now. He said, is it going to be a problem? I said, no, sir. Because I was wanting to jump ship and go work for IWA. I mean, you had so many great athletes there. You had Ricky Banderas, you had El Apollo, you had Savio, you had and Luke of the Bushwhackers.
Yeah.
El Gladiator, not El Gladiator. The guy that had the incident with Bruiser Brody.
Invader.
Yeah, Invader.
Okay.
Invader was doing the booking. And I love him. I love Invader. I love him. Great guy. I have not a bad word to say about him. He never done me wrong. Whatever happened, and it is what it is. But all of those guys treated me with much respect. When they told me I was going to get paid, I got paid. They booked me. I think I stayed with them about 5 months, and because I had to go to Japan, I had to leave and go to Japan later, and then I end up staying with them 5 months. I wrestled, my gosh, everybody in the company. I wasn't like a top name, but I was more like a mid-carder. Mm-hmm. And I think they were grooming me. They were grooming me, getting me ready for better things. And then around that time I was getting ready to leave, Brian Lee, who was the fake Undertaker.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Brian came in, And at first, Bryant had just left rehab, and he was on the drugs real bad and drinking. And Salvio, I heard the phone conversation. Salvio talked to him on the phone and said, Brian, I really would like to have you here, but this is what I want from you. No drinking, no drugs, go to the gym. I will put you up in an apartment, because there's an apartment above the studios. Okay. And that's where we were living. We were living above the studios, and we were roommates. But, sad to say, Brian couldn't beat his demons. His demons had got the best of him. And I tried helping Brian as much as I could, but I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the drugs and the alcohol and the combination. And it messed his mind up so bad. I mean, I was literally scared of the guy because, he's huge. He's a big man. Mm-hmm. And I seen what the cocaine did. And he was not Brian. He was the devil. Yeah, he was a mean man when he did drugs. And I pray for him. I still pray for him. We're still friends. He's more open about his situation at that time. He's not on drugs anymore. He's been sobered up for quite a while. So I'm happy for that. I'm happy for him and his family. And that's all everybody ever wanted, especially Salvio. Because Salvio has a good heart. And but Salvio's business. He's all business too. Mm-hmm. And he's there to make the business grow, but protect the business.
That's correct. Okay, a couple of days ago, I think you go to the doctor and get an injection because you say that you want to return to wrestling. When are you going to have your wrestling match?
I have one more doctor's appointment. I have a doctor's appointment on the 18th of March, and I go in for an MRI. They want to take another MRI and look at my neck real good. If they say that I can wrestle, my return date will be March 28th, and it will be for Universal Championship Wrestling, a huge company out of Atlanta, Georgia. They do quite well. Carlito is their world champion. I love me some Carly. We had great times together when we were in, Carolina. And, when I was coming in, he was going out to WWE. He had just left for WWE. And, but I did get to wrestle on one show with Carly in Puerto Rico. And that was the anniversary. We wrestled the anniversary. Okay. I love the guy.
I'm going to tell you a name, and you're going to tell me what does it mean to you, okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Ivan Koloff.
Woo! That's my uncle. That's my flesh and blood uncle. I mean, it's from on my mother's side. My mom and his wife were sisters, Renee. So they married. I was a little bitty baby when they got married. And I grew up around Ivan and knew who he was. And he was an impressive man. He was an impressive figure, and he was always in character.
Really?
Always. Yeah.
I remember. I remember when he was a tag partner with Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah. Yeah. He I think the only time I seen him as a child out of character was when he was in the home and at church. That's the only two times. But when he walked out that door, he was Ivan Koloff. His real name is Oral Paris. Oral. But nobody ever called him that, and you would not dare call him that. It was Ivan Koloff, But yeah, he was always good to me, and he told me because he knew I wanted to be a wrestler as a child, and he was like, "No, you're not going to do this. You're going to go to school, you're going to graduate, you're going to college, and then you're going to get into the wrestling business." He said, "If you want to do this, you're going to do it my way." And I said, "Okay, Uncle Ivan." I will do it that way. And then I graduated high school, and he let me come in the summertime to train at his school. It was called Ivan Koloff's wrestling school is what it was. And it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it was the best training because I trained under or with other guys that, the Hardy Boys. They trained there. Yeah. Shannon Moore trained there. Gosh, so many. C.W. Anderson. He trained there too. I don't think he was there as much as I was. Excuse me, but I know that he was in and out.
Okay.
And yeah, and so I met a lot of interesting people that are in the business today that I went to wrestling school with. And I'm blessed to still have those guys in my life because, as you know, a lot of our athletes, a lot of our wrestlers have been dying over the years. And dying young. So, but yeah, Uncle Ivan's my uncle by marriage. And I will be running underneath the name Koloff. I do have that trademark and patent. I own it. I am the Russian Hammer. And I'm excellent at being the Russian Hammer. I've only done it one time. And I have the video, and I'll be sure to get you that video.
Okay.
And it just fits the bill. I know how to do it because I know Ivan. And I know how he would want it done. And so, yeah, I'm going to be the heel. I'm going to be the bad guy, and we're going to see where it takes me.
But I'm very worried because why Ivan haven't so far been inducted on the WWE Hall of Fame? What is going on? He was somebody very special. I think he was a tag team champs with Nikolai Volkov and all that. Why he haven't been inducted on the WWE Hall of Fame? What is going on?
Well, I think it was January the 16th, January the 9th or the 16th of 1971. He was the only one to beat Bruno Sammartino. Bruno had his 8-year run as champion. And then Uncle Ivan beat him for the title. Ivan remained champ for maybe 9 months, maybe a year. I think it was business stuff that were going on around that time because Ivan had other people wanting him to come wrestle for them and offering him major amounts of money. And so he was trying to work out business with Vince Sr., Vince McMahon's dad.
Okay.
And things just didn't go the way that they should. So I think Ivan ended up staying there several more years. But, at that time they had territories. So I think Uncle Ivan went to Florida and wrestled for Eddie Graham. And that caused tension with New York.
Okay.
And, yeah. But Ivan eventually came back. He worked some more for Vince Sr., the father of Vince McMahon Jr. But I think Vincent Kennedy McMahon, which is the son, had an issue because they wanted to keep Ivan, but they weren't willing to pay Ivan what he was asking for. So Jim Crockett Promotions called him on the phone and says, look, we want to bring you in and this is what we'll pay you. And it was really, really good money because at that time, Uncle Ivan was tired of moving his kids around because he has children. And he kept telling the promoters, look, I want to be in one place so my kids can go to school and not have to keep moving. And that's all it really boiled down to. And so I think the WWE, they weren't willing to meet that. And it upset Ivan because of everything that he did for that company. And so Vince McMahon to this day has still got a wild hair in his ass. And it upsets me quite a bit because, and I'll tell you something else that upsets me. Nikita Koloff. Mm-hmm. I know Nikita well. Nikita and Lex Luger are the two men that actually helped me cross over to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You know, they saved me, baptism and everything. And they led me to Christ when I was raised up in the church to begin with, but I was living in the devil's den
Okay.
because of the lifestyle, you know, because of the lifestyle us wrestlers live. And they knew what was going on with me. They knew I needed the Lord and Savior, and they helped me. So to them, I'm thankful and honored that they helped me because nobody else would. But what upsets me with Nikita, and he already knows this, is Nikita was at a point in his career, he could have done anything that he wanted to do. He knows all those top guys up there in WWE. He knows Vince. He has not one time stepped forward to ask, to write, email, and say, hey guys, is there a possibility that me and Uncle Ivan can get inducted into the Hall of Fame? He's got a lot of pull in a lot of other areas other than wrestling. Nikita knows powerful people in politics, sports, the marketing field of the Christian network, of the sports network. There's so many possibilities there for Uncle Nikita, but he has not stepped forward to even help Ivan one time get inducted. And if he were to help Ivan, it would only help him get himself inducted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what bothers me. And that's what bothers Renee. And it bothers a lot of other people that I won't mention on this video. And I'm talking important people in the business that are still in the business that can't question WWE because they have a job there. So, you know, that's my only concern. I'll never understand it. I've actually talked to Office. I was there, let's see, from 94 to 97, I worked for Vince. It was a developmental, well, it really wasn't developmental, but I was going through that territory. And then I'd go work for Vince's house shows, Monday Night Raws. I did later on, did SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, 2005, 2006. I then was hired back in 2017 for 6 months and then released. So it's been an up and down thing there. And I think what got me released was the fact that I was being open about who I was related to.
But so far, but I think there's a book and a T-shirt of Ivan Koloff, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, several shirts. He's got posters. He's got cups, like mugs, coffee mugs, keychains, posters, and the book is an excellent read. It's the Ivan Koloff biography, and it tells everything from the day he was born to the day he passed away. It talks about his time he spent in prison. It talks about, you know, dealing with the mafia, living in New York City, and growing up in Canada as a kid, and just so many other things, and how he, you know, became the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, and his legacy. And it's a great read. Anybody that's out there that would like to read it, you can go to www.ivankoloff.com, and you can get all the merchandising, the books. They're not expensive. And yeah, it's awesome. You can go to wrestlingtees.com and get any of the shirts that are available. And matter of fact, they had to make more shirts. So they're doing kind of good. The sales are kind of good for him right now.
If people want to write you on the social media, how can they do it?
They can pull up Michael Youngblood. I am on Facebook, and my Facebook, I'm more open, and you'll see a lot of videos, more pictures. You get to see my family. I'm more vocal about wrestling, about mixed martial arts, bodybuilding. I do talk about politics from time to time. I'm just like anybody else. I'm an ordinary guy, but I'm an athlete, and I'm very humble. I really am. Very thankful to be alive today. And I'm thankful that you have invited me to come on your show not once, this is the second time. And I want to come back to Puerto Rico and wrestle. I know that. I miss my home. I call it my home because, it is. And I miss the people. I miss, I had the ocean on this side of me. I had the mountains on this side. It was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh my God. Okay. Do you have any last word for your fans?
I do. I do. I love all my fans. And my fans hear me all the time. I'm about love. And I tell everybody, even strangers, hey, brother, I love you, man. They'll look at me like, I love you too. Because our world needs love.
Mm-hmm.
We do. It's up to you. It's up to you and me. It's up to the man watching this or the lady watching this. All we have is each other in this world. This world is an evil world. And we've got to come together as a people and unite and love one another and take care of one another. So we as a people, a human race, can get ahead. Not just get to heaven, but get ahead here on earth. And I love everybody. I love all my fans, and I do have a lot of fans. Everybody here in America, and Canada, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. I love all my fans. And you know what? I am going to eventually, hopefully, with the right promoter in Puerto Rico, come back and work maybe 2-3 weeks, who knows? And, that's up to the God in heaven. And I want to perform and do my job and make the fans either hate me or love me, But I love them all. I love all my fans, and I thank them every day because I get a lot of emails. The people are always asking me questions, Q&As, and I answer them as best I can. And it makes me happy, it makes me feel good. And then, of course, when they get their answer, they feel good, So, yeah, I'm an open book. I'm very easygoing.
Okay, I'm going to finish in Spanish so that people can understand me. Mi gente, Michael Youngblood, escríbanle, es el sobrino de Evan Colo. Las personas que conocen WWF conocen a Evan Colo, conocen a Nikita, conocen que ellos eran campeones en WWF. WWF no quiere ponerlos en su Hall of Fame. Esperemos que se logre algún día, porque de verdad queremos eso. Nikolai Volkov también estuvo por ahí. Y mi gente, esto ha sido todo por el momento en Instagram Live. Pendiente a un nuevo Instagram Live. I hope someday Vince will open his mind and give the opportunity to Ivan Koloff to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I hope. I pray, and the Savior in heaven is going to look over us all, and in time, great things happen, and we understand that it might not happen now, it might not happen tomorrow, but eventually, good things are going to come.
Remember Macho Man? Macho Man, they doesn't want him to be on the Hall of Fame, and suddenly they put him on the Hall of Fame. So never, you have to wait. And maybe someday McMahon will say, oh my God, Ivan is dead. Let's give him an opportunity. Let's forgive the past. It would be awesome to see Ivan Koloff on the Hall of Fame, and maybe you can be there and receive that you can give the honor to say he was my uncle, I love him, all that.
Yes, and I'd be honored to do that, and I'd get, if it wasn't for Ivan Koloff, I would not be here. I would not be in this business. We would not be talking. And I've accomplished a lot of things in my career that are accomplishable for me. I have not been at the top world champion at WWE or WCW, but I've been a world champion in smaller companies. And I've wrestled 12 world champions, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Diesel, Bob Backlund. I actually got a win over Bob Backlund in WWE. Thanks to Bret Hart. I've wrestled so many great names in this business over the years and made a lot of friends. My best friends are Haku, the Barbarian, Oh my gosh, Ronnie Gossett. God, I got so many. Scott Steiner. I've got a lot of friends in this business. Kid Cash, David Cash, who's wrestled for Carlos. He's wrestled for Salvia Vega. Me and him are like two peas in a pod. C.W. Anderson's a very good friend of mine. So yeah, these guys are doing tremendous things and great things, and I'm so proud of them. And I hope to be, I know soon, if the doctor allows, I will be on some wrestling events with my friends. So the people that I just named.
Okay, a big hug for the guests of this wonderful program, say Guerrero Azteca. For you too, Guerrero. I hope someday I can see you here in Puerto Rico. Joe Bravo is in Ground Zero Wrestling. You never know. Maybe they will give you a call. Maybe Savio one day can give you a call too. You never know.
Yeah.
So
I miss working there. So
God bless you. And this is not going to be the first time I'm going to do an Instagram live with you. Soon I will call you again, so I will know how are you, and we will talk a lot more. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day, my friend. I love you too, my friend. I love you.
All right. Thank you, brother.